Hello guys, good night. So this is the recording session for the introduction to Git and GitHub that I promised you in the group. But first of all, thank you everyone that answered to this poll, because this gave me the inspiration to do this video. So I really hope that this can help you to understand what is Git and what is the difference with Git and GitHub. And I really hope that you can learn a new thing today. So, okay, we're going to move to the tutorials itself. And a big thank you for the moderators of this group because for the support. And I think this video is going to be somewhere in the resources of this group. So it's a big pleasure and thank you everyone. So, okay, we're going to move right now. And first of all, let me introduce myself. So who I am. My name is Jhan Carlos Silva. I am DevOps and sysadmin based on El Salvador. I am working with open source technologies as Kubernetes, Ansible, Docker, Git, Terraform, GitHub, GitLab, and some other dark magic, you know. And at the moment, I am working for Modusbox as a cloud engineer. And here are my contacts. Here's my Twitter. Here's my GitHub account. And here's my email if you want to write me some doubts. I can help you in every doubt that you have about this video, or if you want me to do another video explaining something, you can always tell me. So let's move to the index of this tutorial, and we are going to cover some points. So the first main topic, what it's going to be, what is Git? And after that, we are going to move to the interactive demonstration about Git. After that, we are going to move to the installation itself, Linux for Linux and Windows. I'm using Linux on this machine, so I'm going to cover more for Linux, but the Windows process is very similar. I'm going to explain it in the moment. We also are going to create our first local repository. We're going to do some basic Git operations. We are going to do some branching, and we are going to cover what is GitHub too. So this is the main topic of this session, because here we are going to understand what is the difference between Git and GitHub. After that, we are going to move in an interactive demonstration about Git and GitHub. So we are going to join all the concepts that we learn here, and we are going to use it with GitHub and Git. So we are going to create a GitHub account. We're going to upload our local repository to GitHub. We're going to clone some repositories. We're going to cover some basic contribution for teamwork or workflow demo. And we also are going to talk about the GitHub student package. So let's move to the first topic. Okay, so the first is, what is Git? And probably most of you guys will be confused about this concept, because all the information that you can find out in Google, the most percentage about the information, it's something like Git is a distributed control version system, or a distributed version management system. But probably this definition will leave us with the same doubt. So I really want to simple the things for you, and just think about the Git is a better way to control the versions of your files and code projects. It can speed up your development processes and has a lot of features as recover lost files in your projects, go back in a specific point of the history of your project, like a time machine. And if you want, you can find a lot of more useful stuff about Git. So in this course, we are going to cover just the basics, but you always can go to the links that I'm going to share with you and discover more features that Git has itself. So we're going to see some examples that how your life will be without Git. So just look at this folder. Imagine that you host this folder in something like Dropbox, and you want to have several versions about that file, because in one you just want to have some integrant list, and in another you probably will remove some names and leave another ones. So you can see that we have several files on this folder. And obviously, if you delete this from a hosting like Dropbox or something else, you will cannot recover this anymore. So this is a very bad point about manage things without Git. So imagine that this is your customer project, your the website customer project, and you just delete the I don't know, the style sheets, for example. you will cannot recover if you are not using something like Git. And let's see the example using Git. So if your folder is controlled by Git, you only need to have one file. And obviously, you are going to have this folder because this represents all the information that Git can store. And you just need to have one file instead these 5 files. And using Git, you can store these versions too, but in a more efficient way. As you can see, a more clear way to see this, and we are going to cover this in this tutorial. So let's go ahead. This is the most familiar example for us that obviously we are on a Python group. So this is a Flask project, a really simple Flask project. And as you can see, we have here a to-do app with a main.py file and templates and some index files, some HTML files. So as you can see, here's the normal view of the project. But here we can see that this project is being controlled by Git, because we can see this file here, or sorry, the folder here. This folder represents all the backend configuration about Git. So we are going to move into the interactive demonstration about Git. So here is the Git installation process. Okay, so let's move to this. Because I am using Ubuntu, I need to use this command. So wait a second. Okay, so we are moving to the Git installation on Linux. So all that you need to do is something like apt get update. This will be the first step if you don't have updated your repositories or your packages from Linux. And after that, you're going to do something like apt get install Git. If you have already installed, you can see something like this. Git is already in the newest version, so we don't need anything more. Just do a Git. And as you can see, here are all the commands that we can run using Git. And for Windows, it's a little bit different because we have to download an executable. We are just coming to this website, and we have to click here, Windows. And this is going to download an executable file, something like this. And you just have to execute that file and continue with a common process to install something in Windows, like next, 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 next. But I leave this guide to you because I really want you to to make you sure that you don't have issues installing Git on Windows. So I really recommend you to mark this option here. When you are here, please mark this option that is use Git from Git Bash only. And this will help you because Git is going to install a Git Bash for you, and it's like it's just like a Linux operating system working in user terminal, and you can use all the bash commands in like ls, like md, like cp, everything of that in Windows. So it's a really very good tool to install. So I really please install this. Okay, so when you have done, you can open this the Git bash, or if you are in Ubuntu, you can open your terminal and we can continue with this. So first of all, I can tell you something about the core concepts about Git. So I probably had told you something about this in all the session, but I really want to clarify some concepts. So what is a repository? And I just told you, keep it simple. A repository is nothing more than a folder that is controlled and managed by Git. So that folder is tracked. This folder can be your Flash project, an HTML folder project, or whatever plain text-based files that you want. After that, we have to know what is a commit. Think a commit as a perfect time snapshot taken to your files. What a commit does, it captures the exactly status of your files in a particular time of the day, or a particular time when you do the commit. So this, it's like if you freeze your files, and the commit captures everything or the status of every file in that repository. Knowing that, we have to know what is a branch. So a branch, it can be different versions of your project. Just remember the folders example. Every branch will be an integrants file. So if you remember on this example, every one of these files can be just one branch, but you are going to see just a file, but you are going to see that if you have several branches, you can have different content for a single file. So we are going to see that after this. So now, please move to the demo. So if you are on Ubuntu or some Linux operation system, open your terminal. And if you are in Windows, please open your Git bash. And the first step that we need to do is to create a new folder. So in Linux, you can create folders with mkdir, and we are going to create a folder called our first repository. And we are going to move from that. Okay, so obviously we don't have anything here. So we are going to learn our first command of Git. So the first command that you need to use, it's git init. And what git init does, it's that create a Git repository in the folder where you run this command. So because we are on the tutorial or first repository, the repository will be created on this folder. So we are going to track and manage only the content of this folder. If we move to this and we create file here, this doesn't, this is not being controlled by Git. So you have to put your important files or your project here. So after that, we are going to create a new file, a very simple file to, like in the example, we are going to create an index HTML. As you can see, here's the file. And here is our next Git command. If we do Git status, you can see that we have untracked files here. And what this means is that Git detected that there is a new file, but this is not being tracked yet. So if we do changes in this index, like, okay, I don't have Beam here, so I have to install it. To edit this file. We're going to modify this file. And if we add something like, okay, we're going to do an HTML, a very simple HTML So we're going to put an h1 here. Okay, and we're going to save this file. If we look the content of this file, you can see that it's this hello world, this is my master branch. But if we do git status here, the status is the same. But here is the next command. If we do git add index HTML, and after this, you can see that there is any on the console telling us something. But if we do a git status again, you can see that this change of color, this is green right now. And as you can see, here we have changed to be committed. So Git has detected this new file, and this is being tracked right now. So like I explained you in the concepts, right now, the only step that we are missing is to do the commit. So the commit will capture the current status of the index file. So we're going to save this. We're going to save this in the console to see what happens next. So we're going to do a commit. And it will be something like initial commit HTML added. So to do a commit, you just have to write git commit -m, that means message, and you have to open single quotes or just the double quotes. It doesn't matter. But if you open with this quote, you have to quote to close with the same quote. So if in this case, we're just going to use the single quote, and we're going to hit enter. So this will happen only the first time that you are using Git. So what happens here is that the commits are registered to a specific user. So what you need to do is configure your profile here so Git can know who you are and can add your signature to every commit that you made. So your commits, it's going to say something like, Jhan has done this change, or Jose has done this change, for example. So we're going to do the Git config here. As you can see, Git is very cool because here's the solution for this trouble. So I'm going to create the same Git config -- global user.email, and we are going to set this to my email. Okay, so with this, we can continue with the name. So let's do the same, git config -- global user.name, and I'm going to put my name. Okay, so now if we retry to do the commit, we have the same command that we throw up. If we do the commit, as you can see, the initial commit HTML added was already done. And as you can see here, we have 1 file change and 8 insertions plus. So if we do a git status here, you can see that we are on the branch master and there is nothing to commit here. But let's change something in this file to see what happens. Okay. Today, I don't want to say this is my master branch. I'm going to say that this is my second commit. And if we hit git status again, you can see that we have modified the index.html file. So if we do, here is a new command that you probably don't know. If you do git diff, you can see what is the difference. So as you can see here, here's the difference. Here is the minus to say that this write has deleted, and this is the plus to say that this line was added. So this is the previous version on Git, and this is the new version that we are changing. So as you can see, we changed this is my second commit. We just added this instead of this. So with this in hand, we can do a git add again, so we can track the file. And if we do git status again, you can see that now the file is modified. So right now we can do a git commit. Remember, git commit -m and followed by your message. Please try to make some useful message for your commits so your teammates can know what are you doing here. So, okay, because we just changed this text, we are going to put something like master branch text change. Okay, so now if we hit git status again, you probably will see that it's nothing here. So what happened with your file? If we do a cat index, you're going to see that this is the second commit, and we're going to see another command right now. If we do a git log, you are going to see all the history of commits that your repository has. So as you can see, we just have 2 commits. The first one that it's called initial commit HTML added, and the second one. And the git log command supports a lot of attributes like graph and decorate. So here we can see a little branch here, and because we just have one, we don't have troubles with this. Okay. If we do a git branch right now, you are going to see that we just have master. The branch master is created by default for Git when you initialize a new repository. and it will be created when you do your first commit. So for example, I'm going to go out from this repository and I'm going to create another one. And I'm going to get in and I'm going to init a new repository here. You do ls.la, you can see that here is our Git file. So if we do a Git branch here, it's going to it's not going to return anything because the master branch is created when you do your first commit. So let's move to the first folder. Okay, so now we can do something very, very useful. And we are going to talk about the time machine on Git. So let's do a Git log just to see what we have here. As you can see, the commit, it's made by the word commit, a unique hash code. This hash code, it's the representation of your commit, and this is a unique number. So you can identify your commits by just by this this hash code. Probably you will add titles or descriptions, but the only way to difference the commits is the hash code, like is this. And here we have another main concept, and it's the head and the branch. Okay, what is head? Head, it's how Git called to the most updated version of your project. So if we do a Git reset, Git reset is the time machine command. Just remember that. But you have to be careful with this command because it's a little bit delicate and can delete the history of your repository. And I'm going to do it right now. If we do a Git reset, the Git reset command, it's compounded by Git reset, your hash code commit, followed by the word hard or soft. If we do a soft, you can recover the history of the Git commit. But if you do a hard, this is going to force the reset to this commit. So let's see what happened when we do this. Look at this. Head is now at initial commit HTML added. So if we do a Git log, you can see that we lost the second commit. So you may be asking, what just happened with the file that we created? And if we do a cut here, as you can see, we have the first text that we have written on the first HTML file. So you have to be very careful with this command because, as you can see, we have deleted the second commit and we cannot recover it from this point. So I am going to do another commit. So I am going to do a change here. And I'm going to change this to please don't erase me. And I'm going to add another line too. Something like this. Okay, so if we do a Git status, you're going to see that we already have modified the file. So we have to do a git add with the name of the file to say that that we want to track these changes. And after that, if we do a git status again, you're going to see that the file has been modified. So let's add a commit. Please remember, second commit added. And now I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to create a big bunch of commits to show you a very useful thing about Git. So, okay, I already have created some commits. And so if we, first of all, please let me show you the file. And I just made 5 commits. And on each commit, I added some a paragraph on this HTML. So if you do a Git log, you're going to see that we have the 5th commit, the 4th commit, the 3rd commit, the 2nd commit, and the initial commit, right? And as you can see, our head or the current state of Git, it's in the 5th commit. So that's why we can see this paragraph here. So I want to teach you that you can move between every commit without doing a reset. So you can just overview what was happening on that version, and after ensure that that's the commit that you need, you can do the reset. So we are going to do a Git checkout. So this is a new command. So please note this. Git checkout works to change the branch where you are, or the commit where you are. So right now we are on this commit, and we are going to use the Git checkout command to switch between every commit and see what happens with the file. So after this, before this, we're going to do something. We're going to do a cat. Wait, good luck. We're going to do a cat of the index to see the difference, and we're going to see to copy this. No, to copy this one. Okay, so if we do a Git checkout, okay, you can see that you are in a detached head state. So we can look around, make experimental changes, commit them, and you can discard any commit you make in this state without impacting the branch by performing another checkout. If you want to create a new branch to retain these commits that you create, you may do so now or later by using -b with the checkout command again. Example, git checkout branch, the new branch name. So this is very good because we can create a branch with the commit that we are. So we are going to try it, but first we are going to do a git log to see where we are. As you can see, we are right now on the 4th commit, and we cannot see the 5th commit here. But if we do a git reset head 4th hard, sorry, and we do a git log, we are on the 4th commit. So now, if we review the index HTML file, you're going to see that we are on the 4th commit, and we cannot see the 5th commit, right? So let's check out to another commit. So we can do a git log 190. And we are going to move to our initial commit. So we are going to do a Git checkout to there. So we now are on this. If we do a cut here, you can see that we just have here right now. So in that way, you can see that we can move between every commits that you have on your Git repository. And this is a very useful way to work, because now because we are on the first commit, here we can do a branch from this. So we can do a Git branch -d -b, sorry, and we can call this like something like first version, or we can call it like a version 001. Sorry. Okay, we don't need the main -b parameter. We just need to do a Git branch and put the name of the branch. And as you can see, if we do a Git branch that lists all the branches, we have 3 right now. Here is a temporary one that is because the head is detached at this commit. So we can move between branches too. So if we do a Git checkout to master, we are going to recover all the log that we have. So as you can see, here are all the commits that I've done after this. So now, if we do a Git branch and we go to the branch that we created before, I am now in the branch because Git tells me that I am in this branch. And if we see the Git log, you can see that we just have the initial commit. So with this on hand, we can do something like this, like with Git branch, Git checkout, sorry, to master. We're going to do a Git log, and we can create as an exercise 5 branch, one for the second commit, one for the initial commit, one for the third, one for the fourth, and one for this. So this will be a very good exercise to learn something about the Git branching. So I'm going to do it with this one. So I'm going to do a checkout first to this version. And I'm going to Git branch the version 002. So this created the branch. Here is the branch. And after this, we can move to that branch. So Git checkout to version 002. Okay. So if we do a Git log here, you can see here is the commit, the second commit, right? And if we see the file, here is just the message that just need to be. So, oh no, sorry. I think I moved to the wrong one. Let me check. Git log. Oh no, this is the good one. So you can see I in this version I just named this as this is my master branch. How we can know what's the difference between this commit and this second one? We can do it with this. If we do a Git difference between the first commit and the second commit, you just need to paste the first hash code and the second hash code. Here is the difference. As you can see, on the first version, we just had this message, but on the second version, we have this one. So we added all of this. If we do again a Git branch to the master, sorry, a Git checkout to master to move to there, and we do a cut here, let's do something very interesting. We're going to do a Git log, and we are going, and we are going to compare from the first commit to the latest commit to see what difference the repository has. So we're going to do a git difference between the first commit, remember the hash code, and the second one. So as you can see, the red text represents the first commit, and this is what was added between these 5 commits. So between the first commit, the initial commit, this one, and this, we have all these differences. So this is a very helpful tool to review what are the changes on our repositories. So we need to learn more about this. So please try to repeat this exercise a lot of time, a lot of repetitions, so you can grab the knowledge and know what you have to do when you have a repository. So we can do a lot of things with Git Branch, and something very good is we can delete branches. If we do a Git branch -d with the name of the branch, we're going to delete it. You can see. If we see Git branch, there is nothing more. But what happens with this branch? Well, you may ask we have deleted the commits, and the answer is no. If we do a Git log, because we are on master, you can see that we still have our commits on the master. So let's see this command. Okay, as you can see, here are 2 branches, master and version 001. But this seems like it's just one branch, and that's why, because the branches are not combined. So this is a very different version that we have on the master one. So how you can combine 2 branches? And the answer is very easy. First of all, we can go to the version 1 branch, and we can use the command called Git Merge. And what Git Merge does, it's just see this, see this log, and if we do a Git Merge master, as you can see, we have updated all, 1 file has changed, 13 insertions, and 1 deletion. So what happened here? If we do a Git log again, we have all the commits from the master branch. So as you can see, the head is right now on the version 001 in the master. This probably can be very confusing to you guys, but what we just have done is to combine both histories in a single branch. So let me show you. Okay, so now we're going to do something interesting. What happens if I want to do changes in a very deep folder in the repository? First of all, I'm going to ensure in what branch I am. Okay, I am on the version 001 branch. So we're going to create a folder. and it's going to call something like example. We're going to do a CD there, and we're going to touch some files. So if we list here, as you can see, we have 7 files here. And what happens with the repository? If we do a git status here, you can see that we have added this folder. But you may ask you, I have to add one by one each file that I am adding, and the answer is no. You can just add everything. Please ensure that you are in the root folder of your Git repository. So if you list all, you have to be in the place where you can see this folder. So what you have to do is git add, and instead of the name of the file, that means example1, example2, we can just do a git add dot. And what it's going to do, if we go to git status, you can see all the files was added. And this is why, and this is because the dot represents to the actual directory. So Git will search in all the directory to see if there is new files to be added or it's something to be updated, and Git is going to be care about that. So let's continue with this. We're going to do a commit. So Git commit added example files. So practically we have reviewed the three more special commands for work with Git. That is git add, this add the commit to the tracking. So this add the files to be tracked, and this led us to do a commit. We know about Git status that can tell us what is happening in our folder, and we can see Git commit that it captures the current state of your files. So after this, if we do a Git log, you are going to see that the head is right now in the version 001 because this branch is more updated than the master one. So what happened here? Obviously, if you move to the master branch and do an ls, the example folder doesn't exist yet, but we can merge the both branches. So we are going to do something like Git Merge version 001, and as you can see, we have already added the latest commit. So if we do a Git log, here is the commit from the version 001 branch to the master one. And now both of the branches are updated. So I know that this probably can be a lot of confusing, but if you train these concepts and you repeat this very lot of times, I promise that you will learn how to manage Git repositories. So just remember, the conclusion about this topic is that the most important commands are, just going to add a new file. Okay, the most important commands are git add. So this tracks the file, tracks the changes of the file, and the another important command is the git commit one, because this captures the status of your file. And with this, we are already controlling the versions of our files. So thank you. We're going to move to the next section. So right now, we are on the part that I think that you probably will waiting for, and it's where we match every concept that we learned before. And what is GitHub? So in a simple way, GitHub is not more than a free hosting platform for Git repositories. And that's a really very simple way to see what the GitHub does. And that's it. The way that Git and GitHub are related is Git is the distributed version management system, to control your code and your projects, and GitHub is the platform that stores that repos and also incorporates some other concepts like collaboration, pull requests, issues, releases, and too much features, believe me. So with this in hand, I really want to wish that this is clear for you. But just remember, in a simple way, GitHub is not more than the free hosting platform for your repositories. So Git is just the control version manager, and GitHub is the hosting. If you want to see like that, it's just like that. So we're moving forward to the interactive demo about GitHub, and these are the steps that we are going to do. So let's move to that. We are on in a new browser, and we're going to do sign up here. So we have to pick a user, and for today I'm going to put Jhan tutorials, something like this. Okay, it's available, very good. And I'm going to put my email. Okay, the email is available too. And I'm going to put a password. And I'm going to check this because I want to see email from GitHub. And we're going to do this verify. Okay, I think this is good. Okay, we're good. We are not a robot. So create account. Excellent. So we can save the password. And this is what practically we are going to use the free plan. So what kind of work do you do? Okay, I'm software engineer. I think I'm teacher too. Well, okay, I'm software engineer. How much programming experience do you have? I have a moderate amount. What do you plan to use GitHub for? Learn code, learn GitHub, host a project, collaborating. Okay, I just can't check 3. Okay, I'm going to check these ones. And I am interested in NPM, Docker, Kubernetes, Git, GitHub, CI/CD. Okay, we're going to complete the setup. And we have to confirm the email. We're going to resend it. And this is a very important thing that you have to do. So please verify your email. I'm going to do it. So I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so now the email was confirmed. And with this in hand, we can proceed. So we're going to click this button. Oh, here you can update everything you want. You can customize your profile, putting a name like I am Jhan Carlos. Okay, I'm going just to update here because GitHub also works as a social network for developers. Some of us use it like this. So if we move to my profile, my original profile, you're going to see my profile, how many commits I have done in the year, my repositories, my public repositories, where I work, my email, and a lot of things. So we're moving to our profile. Okay, so here's our profile. And as you can see, we just have joined GitHub. We don't have anything here. And if we move to this icon, here we have guides that we can follow to learn about GitHub, how to create branches, things that we already have done. But the special thing with GitHub, it's that you can incorporate or create repositories from here. Okay, so the first step that we're going to do is create the same repository that we have in our local. So this is the name of the repository. I'm going to create it. Our first repository is available, and I'm going to put a description. Repository, use it for the Git and GitHub course. Okay. And I'm going to do it in public so you can see this repo after this. And I am not going to initialize this repository with readmes. We can talk about documentation in another video because it's a little bit extensive topic. So we're going to create this. Okay, so right now we have our repository in a very good way. So as you can see, here is an empty repository. And we have our local repository. Okay, Git status, we don't have anything. So how can I upload this local repository to GitHub? And here is a very useful guide to follow. We're going to do in the HTTPS mode at first, and after this, we are going to do it with SSH. So if we do what we need is to add an origin. So if we do Git Remote, you can see we don't have anything, any remote sources of Git. But what happens if we do Git Remote Add, and we are going to call this, by convention, the name has to be origin, because it's the origin repository on the cloud, and we are going to put the URL of the repository. So if we try to do the git remote -b command, we're going to see that we have two origins, one to fetch and one to push. So what is this? If we do a git push -u to create the branch in GitHub, origin, that it's all remote, as you can see, origin, master, the branch is the master one. Here is going to prompt our user for GitHub. So we have to write the user. My user is this, Jhan Tutorials, and the password. Okay, and after that, if you come to see, here are all the files that we created, but here is not the branch. If we do get the branch here, you can see that here is the branch, but I can see it here. So we have to push that too. So we just have to do a git push origin version 0.0.0.1. We're going to put another time our user and our password. And as you can see, the new branch has created. So if we update this repository and we come, okay, we're going to dismiss this, and we come to the branches, you can see the branches. Here is the new branch. And the cool thing about this is that if you go to commits, you can see the actual list of commits in a very, very, very clear way. So if we come here, you can see what is the change of this commit. So we just added this file, 1. And if we go to the 5th commit, you're going to see that we removed this space and we added this text. So this is a very good way to see what is happening in our repository. Instead of using too much comments on our local site, we can come to GitHub and see what is happening with our repos. We can see our branches. We can see everything we want. So after this, here we can also delete this branch. So we're going to do git push -d origin version 001. We're going to put our user and our password. Okay. If we update this, we just have branch master right now. So other thing that we can do, we already upload the local repository to GitHub. So I want to teach you, okay, I'm going to remove this branch from my local too because I don't need it. I just need my master right now. Okay. Okay, it's excellent. So now I'm going to teach you something else. We can create branches from here. How? If we go to branches, if we go to code and go to branches, we can switch from branches here. So we can create a branch called develop. And as you can see, we are creating a branch develop from our master. So what this is going to do, it's going to take the master one and it's going to copy to a new branch called develop. And as you can see, this branch is even with master. So there are no difference between both. Obviously, if we do git branch here, develop doesn't exist. But if we do a git pull, as you can see, we have bring the new branch. So this is a very, very needed command. So let me teach you another time the full and complete process to do a commit when you have an external repository or a cloud repository. Let me see in what branch I am. I am on master. I'm going to check out to develop. As you can see, develop from origin. And if we don't get branch, here's develop. Okay. And we're going to add something like, I'm going to edit the same file and just going to add, just going to remove this word. Okay. I'm going to add this. Let's check the status. I have modified the file. Let's do the commit. Get the status. I don't have anything, but now I can do a git push because our branch is ahead of origin develop by 1 commit. So Git catches the difference. Here is a new commit that in our GitHub doesn't exist. So we need to push it. So do a git push. We're going to put here our username and our password. Okay. And as you can see, here is the new commit in develop. And here is in a more clear way. we just changed this line. We affected just this word changing from this. So we just change the line 17, and we just have added this word. So as you can see here with the little red mark. So here is something weird. As you can see, you recently pushed branches, and we're going to see this after a couple of times. But for now, I want to solve a really annoying issue. As you can see, every time that we do a commit, you have to input your username and your password. And that's a very difficult process to do, because probably you are going to do several commits per day, and you are going to push and pull several times. So what we have to do is to set up a SSH key. And what that lets us to do is to clone the repository in a different way. So we can clone it in this way using SSH, and this lets us to authenticate by this protocol. So as you can see, if I want to clone the repository with SSH key, here tell me that I don't have any public SSH key in my GitHub account. So it told me something like I have to add it. So I am going to add it. I'm going to put here something like, this is a Docker container, so I'm going to put this container, okay. And I'm going to generate it. So to generate a SSH key in a Linux system, you just have to do SSH-kgen, and we just have to put the the file where I'm going to save the SSH key, and I'm just going to leave it as default. We're not going to use password in the SSH key. And if you do an ls to root SSH, you're going to see two files. And one is the IDR, the private key, and here is the public key. And this is a very extensive explanation that I have to do if I'm going to explain you something of the SSH keys. But for now, you just have to know that if you generate an SSH key, it's going to be two parts, the private one and the public one. You never have to share this one, the private, because this can unencrypt probably if you have your repositories with this key, we can unencrypt the public one, and a hacker or something can access to all your repositories. So never share access for this key. If you are going to share the key, you just can share this one, the public one. And what I have to do is to copy the content of the public one. So I'm going to do it right now. We just have to copy this content. As you can see, here we just display the content of the file on the terminal, and we just have copy. Okay, and we're going to put this and add SSH key. So now we have the new SSH key. And if we do, and if we update the website and we try to clone with SSH, we don't have the message anymore. So we can change the configuration to let the GitHub to clone by SSH. So this can be done by several ways. One can be the Git Config. You can do a Git Config, because with Git Config you can change the global or the repository files like local, view the local. You can change the sections of your file. But on this time, to show you what contains the folder, I'm going to do it manually. So I am making sure that you have access to the .git folder. I'm going to move right there. And here you can see a lot of files, but we have interest on this one. So if we edit this one, you can see here the origin and all the branch, because here are the branches. But what interests me right now is this one, the URL. As you can see, here we are cloning the repository with the HTTPS method. But if we want to change it, we just need to remove this and paste the content of the SSH clone. So we just have to save this. And if we do a git pull, you can see that we are going to authenticate with GitHub. And everything is up to date without need to be authenticated. So I am on the develop, yes. So I am going to add a new file. Git add, git commit, file to added. I'm going to push the changes. And as you can see, I don't have to authenticate. So this is a very straightforward configuration, and we don't need to authenticate anymore. Okay, now I have done something very weird because I deleted the repository from my machine. So let's suppose that your machine has broken or has some troubles, and you lost all your information from your local machine. So this is the good part about using GitHub, that we can recover the latest version that we have on the cloud just doing a clone. So we're going to touch clone. And remember, this is just one repository. We can have, I think it's an infinite numbers of repositories on the GitHub. Just do clone. And to clone a repo, we just have to do a git clone, the command for the git clone, and paste the URL. And you can clone it by SSH or by HTTPS. But because we have our SSH key added, we can do it with SSH method. So if we do an ls and we move to the repository, we have all the files or the latest files that we saved on GitHub. So this is the part of cloning repositories and checking the files. So it's possible if you have an open source or a private repository to manage the permissions. So if we go to the settings, we can do things like manage access, and you can invite people. So in this time, I'm going to invite my another account. And if I accept this, I am going to be a contributor of this repository. So let's move to my another account. And from my another account, I just received in this section that notifications, they invite to join to this repository. So as you can see, if I am here, I can see the public information of the repos, certain activity within the repo, my IP address, my access level for the repository, and I'm going to accept. Okay, so with this in hand, I am a contributor of this repo, so I can modify files here. I can do a lot of things, but I cannot see the configuration that I can see where I am the owner of the repo. So if I update here, we are going to see that I am just a collaborator. So I don't have the full access to manage this repository. But what happens if I delete my access? Okay, I don't have collaborators. And if I update this, no, I cannot delete or modify, or if I do a modify, I just can propose that change, but I cannot perform that change by myself. So that's a very useful thing about GitHub, because if you have a public repository, nobody can touch it. Nobody, if you don't give them collaborator access, they cannot perform any change on your files. So it's a very secure way to manage your repositories. But if you have a very, very private or very, very, an, I don't know, personal repository, just create it as a personal repository or private repository, and you don't have to manage anything. You are the only who can see that repository. So to create a private repository, you just have to do new, and we're going to do a private repo, and just mark it as private. So what happens here? From my another profile, if I go to the Jhan tutorials profile, I just can see the public one, but I cannot see this private repo. And if you come, you can see the private because it's yours, but I cannot see that. So that's a very interesting way to do to manage your repositories. And remember, if you want to take private repos and you don't want to share your code with another guys, just make your repository private. Here we can, if we add another time the contributor with manage access, let add me. Sorry. Okay, and as you can see, here's the pending invite, and I go to my profile, go to the notifications, and let me update this because probably. Okay, let me see. Let me see in my inbox. Okay. Let me review in the profile. Okay, let me see. Okay, I have to. Yes, when you do this, please copy this link right here, so you can share this invite to your mate, and he can accept like this. So now I have access to this repository. So if I come to this repository, remember I am with my personal account right now. I can clone this repository, and obviously it's going to be a an empty repository, and I'm going to clone it. Okay, as you can see, we can clone we can clone an empty repository. So I'm going to add a file. I'm cut here. And I'm going to name it a private repo. Okay, I'm cut here, private repo. I'm going to move to there. I'm going to do here so git init, and I am going to add the origin. Git origin add, sorry, git add origin. Git remote add origin. And if we do git remote, we can see the origin, and we are going to add a file. So touch readme. And I'm going to put markdown title, just like this. I'm going to add this, going to do a commit, initial commit, right? And going to push these changes. And because it's a new branch. Okay. And if we update here, as you can see, with my other account, I have committed to a private repository. And that's just possible because I manage the access and I give access to this profile. If we come here, you can see here's the commit. So with this in hand, we have reviewed all about practically the GitHub workflow demo. And we just have left one point, and it's the GitHub student package claim. And I really will recommend to you that if you are new or are you studying on the college or somewhere else, you can always come to a student GitHub. And this practically is a package to any student on the world. So we just do something like get the pack. And we're going to take the student benefits. And as you can see, we can fold this like with our academic status. Okay, the GitHub student developer pack is only available for a student 13 years or older. We're going to use this email, and we just have to put the name of our school, and we need to prove the information about the school. So if we put something like Oxford University, I don't know, Oxford City School, it will require the email. But if you put something like the system don't know, like Universidad Francisco Gaviria, it's a university from El Salvador, I will need to add the school ID card to prove that I am a student. Here you need to add how do you will use the plan. If you just put something like to learn new technologies. You have to fill these values too. After that, we just have to submit this, and GitHub is going to check it. And after this, you can come and get all of these gifts. Here are a lot of gifts. I like credits on servers, AWS and courses, Microsoft Azure credits, a domain for 1 year, one domain for 1 year, and a lot of really lot of gifts. Um, we have tutorials, and so please, if you are a student, I really recommend to you to redeem this package because you can take very good things from this, like the domain, practically for free without adding any credit card. You have Unity, Bootstrap Studio, Heroku, and a lot of courses and technologies. So I really will recommend that to you. And with that, we are done with the tutorial. And that was all for now. So thanks a lot, and please like the video and subscribe if you want more content like this. And I'm probably going to do a poll to record another topics if you want. So thanks to all.